And this is a script. You're the man, okay? From your hairstyle to the way you look. These are the lines. This is the puzzle. Okay, you are on camera. My side, while you driving, already fix the camera to small things. You're driving and then you're
various categories of cars and what motivates their ownership and the lifestyle of the people who drive them, etc.
Very interesting. Sounds very interesting. But
People who are passionate about collecting and fixing and maintaining actually part of our history, our automobile history. And here in India, we seem to have quite a rich history within the automobile sector. So basically, there are various things we can do within this documentary to portray in an artistic light various aspects. However, I believe that the story behind the individuals, the story behind each car effectively, should speak for itself. What is New India all about? Well, part of that is represented by the young and the successful in this growing economy.
so basically, you are searching the interesting relation between man and machine.
Yes, exactly.
What should be the mechanism? What you are thinking? I mean,
I'm coming to the ice cream shop. You're the ice cream seller and I want an ice cream. You tell me how to make the ice cream, not the other way around.
well, do you have any budget plan? And what about the technicalities you are having in mind?
So the budget, I'm going to give you $1 million.
What do I say? Then we have to get those stories or get those. I mean, the particular car and car owner.
So,
any category you have. I mean, thought of the particular categories or something.
Effectively, various cars can blend together. Begin to unravel a complex set of communities, lives, stories, which effectively defines cars in India today. My Gaadi and I.
Oh, sorry, my Gaadi and I. That's your catch line.
Well, not really, but what do you call car in India?
Yeah, my Gaadi.
So,
Amar Gaadi.
Amar Gaadi, my
Gaadi.
Gaadi and I.
Oh, it's brilliant. This is a very good catch line. It could be the name of the film. I mean, the documentary.
Children have their hobbies with football, cricket. Generally, they do playing with games.
इसको शुरू से ही गाड़ी का बहुत ज़्यादा शौक था.
Initially starting साइकिल से हुआ और इवन वो सिर्फ साइकिल चलाता ही नहीं था, उसमें डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ एक्सेसरीज लगाता था जिससे उसकी स्पीड बढ़े, वो देखने में थोड़ा डिफरेंट हो फ्रॉम अदर्स.
स्टार्ट किया इसने वो बाइक रेसिंग से, और बाइक रेसिंग के लिए वो घर से डांट भी बहुत सुनता, लेकिन वो उसकी ऐसी हैबिट है कि वो 2-4 बार एक्सीडेंट भी हुआ, लेकिन वो मानता ही नहीं. फिर भी हम लोग मना करते हैं भाई नहीं करो, चुप घर से चुप करके करता. फिर उसके कार का वो शौक, डिफरेंट कार लाएगा बेचेगा.
बालिका वधू सीरियल देख के ये जीप पसंद किया, जाके ले आया.
हमेशा कुछ नया सीखते रहना, फिर नए मॉडल्स हैंडल करना. जैसे कि अभी उसके पास जो जीप है वो उसने खुद इनोवेट किया, मतलब लाया तो उसने जहाँ से भी ऑर्डर, लेकिन उसमें इनोवेशन उसने खुद किया कि इसमें ये चीज़ होना चाहिए, वो चीज़ होना चाहिए, स्पीड बढ़ाने के लिए ऐसा होना चाहिए, लाइटिंग ऐसी होनी चाहिए, साउंड ऐसा। तो वो एक उसका बहुत बड़ा इंटरेस्ट रहा।
एक बार हम जीप लेके गए थे आपका कोना एक्सप्रेस हाईवे की तरफ, तो वहाँ पे कुछ ब्रैकेट है जहाँ टैक्स देना पड़ता है संतरागाछी ब्रिज पे। तो एक दिन हम गए, बहुत सारा लाइट जल रहा था, रात को आ रहे थे तो लोग चेकिंग कर रहा था शायद, तो हम लाइट बंद किया, अचानक से वो लोग सैल्यूट करने लगा। वो लोग सोचा बहुत बड़ा कोई ऑफिसर है। तो ये सब बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि कोई सोचता है कि मतलब कोई ऑफिसर का गाड़ी है या कोई मिलिट्री का गाड़ी है या कोई पैसा वाला है, जल्दी कोई कुछ आंसर क्वेश्चन नहीं करता है। लड़की लड़का लोग सभी देखता है, बहुत अच्छा लगता है जब कोई बोलता है कि बहुत अच्छा गाड़ी है, यूनिक है, और जब कोई घूर के देखता है तो इससे समझ में आता है कि थोड़ा एंटीक गाड़ी है बोल के सब कोई देखता है। गरीब से लेके अमीर आदमी तक इसको देख के बोलता है कि वेरी नाइस कार एंड ऑल।
कोई पुलिस वाले हैं बोलते हैं भाई हमको दे दीजिए, एक दिन हम चलाएंगे। तो कोई जो भी देखता है तो थोड़ा एक नई चीज़ है तो हर को एक वो थोड़ा वो शौक़ होता है ना बैठ के चलाने के देखने का। दोस्त लोग जो है ना अक्सर कहते हैं भाई हम ज़रा बैठ के हम फ़ोटो खिंचा लें, तो ये कर लें, तो होता है।
पुलिस लोग नॉर्मली मांगता है लेकिन हम देते नहीं हैं, बोल देते हैं कि अभी मेरे पास गाड़ी है नहीं, और ये वो बहाना कर देते हैं।
वो गलत कर रहा है ऐसा, उसके वजह से बाकी उसके जो ग्रुप में हैं दे आर ऑल्सो गेटिंग इंटरेस्टेड एंड दे आर आस्किंग फ्रॉम देयर पेरेंट्स गिव मी दैट बाइक, गिव मी दैट कार। तो ये हमेशा रहता था हमारे घर में, लोग आते थे, कहते भी थे, जाते भी थे, लेकिन अभी ठीक है।
इसको हम खुद ही से साफ़ करते हैं अपने से, किसी को हाथ भी लगाने नहीं देते। इसको हम पंजाब से खुद बनाए थे, खुद डिज़ाइन किए थे, जगह जगह दुकान जाके, और इसको हमको 15 दिन लगा पंजाब में बनाने में। ये थोड़ा यूनिक है और इसका बहुत पावर है, ये कहीं भी चढ़ सकता है। हम इसमें टोयोटा का इंजन लगाए हैं, डीजल इंजन है, बहुत पावरफुल इंजन है, इम्पोर्टेड इंजन है, पीजीओ इंजन इसको बोला जाता है। 15 दिन हम पंजाब में रहे, ना मेरा वहाँ कोई था, जबकि हम वहाँ जाके होटल रेंट पे लेके वहाँ पे डिज़ाइन करके अपने स्टाइल से बनवा के फिर उसको ट्रक में लोड करवा के हम जीप को लेके आए।
अच्छा लगा, खुशी महसूस हुआ, बहुत लुक अच्छा था उसका, देखने में भी अच्छा लग रहा था। लेके आया तो हमको लड़की को बैठा के ले जाके घुमाया।
जीप मेरा सबसे फेवरेट गाड़ी है, ठीक है। जीप के लिए घर पे मेरा बहुत झगड़ा वगड़ा हुआ है, लेकिन जीप हम कभी बेचना नहीं चाहते हैं। अभी भी मेरे फैमिली बोलते हैं कि जीप बेच दो, लेकिन हम बेचना नहीं चाहते हैं। उसको भी जीप बहुत पसंद था तो उसका भी शौक़ था, लेकिन अभी जब हम लोग घूमने निकलते हैं तो लोग ऐसा देखते हैं मुँह, तो इसलिए अब वो ज़्यादा जीप में घूमना नहीं चाहती है, क्योंकि लिए थोड़ा ऑड फील होता है उसको, जब उसको सब कोई देखता है, जीप को देखता है। तो हो सकता है उसको चिढ़ भी हो कि उसको नहीं देख के जीप देख रहा है। पैसा चाहे जो भी आ जाए और गाड़ी चाहे मेरे पास जो भी रहे, मेरा फेवरेट कार है। चाहे मेरे पास जितना ही महंगा गाड़ी हो, हम इसके लिए एक तो पर्सनल गैरेज ही रखेंगे और इसको कभी बेचेंगे नहीं। हम भी नहीं चाहते बेचना, और अगर हम बेचने का सोच भी ले तो मेरा दोस्त लोग शायद नहीं बेचने देगा हमको, क्योंकि हाँ, जितना प्यार हम करते उतना प्यार मेरा दोस्त लोग भी करता है। सिर्फ उन लोगों को बैठने में इतना मज़ा आता है कि वो लोग उतना प्यार करता है जीप से। When I drive this car, I take some respect from others people. हमको बहुत रेस्पेक्ट मिलता है गाड़ी चला के दूसरा लोगों से। हमको ऐसा फील होता है जैसे हम कोई हीरो है जब हम इस गाड़ी को चलाते हैं। तो ना हम सिगरेट पीते हैं ना दारू पीते हैं, यही मेरा नशा है, यही मेरा जिद है, यही मेरा सब कुछ है। दिस इज़ माई ड्रीम कार।
It was first more of a requirement, and then it became my passion. I love the speed, I love the drive, I love the people, I love the attention even for the car, not towards me but towards the car, to be specific. It makes, I mean, everything so smooth. I can do everything so fast. Life has become very easy for me after I got my car.
We have faces cases when we are driving, people honked, the people came beside us, honked at us, and they stopped us, and they started asking questions with genuine interest. Okay, where do you purchase? How much does it cost? How is the driving feeling? And then, honestly, I felt a little proud that, okay, we are trying to drive something, and that's why I said we are making actually a statement by driving that car on road.
It has become more of a habit and more of my passion. So it is like I love the car, and whenever I go out, there has been several instances when actually I had the option to drive my husband's car and this car, but it was almost always like I was always fond of driving this one only.
She's kind of a less emotional person, but when it comes to her car, I see probably a lot more attachment than the attachment she has with me.
I needed a car which is an automatic one. I can park it easily at a very small place. Those were some of the criteria that I had. It was more of a necessity than a passion. But once I bought it, it became more of a passion than a requirement.
I'll give you an example. Recently, we had to give this Reva car for battery change, and it was not there for a month or so. And she was driving my car. And the day she got her car back, she said, "Oh, okay, finally I got my car." So it's something like she feels really, really happy when she has that car, probably because it's easy to drive, but more because I think she identifies herself with that car in some way.
I have a passion for painting and sketching for quite some time. It's almost like during my school days that I have started drawing and painting. Painting and drawing was my only passion. But once I started driving Reva, it's like it became my other passion, and which is almost like inseparable. And you can actually see, earlier I used to draw maybe only portraits and human beings mostly. But now it is like I'm painting my car too.
Hello, ma'am. How are you? How are you? Good. How's your car doing?
It's doing fine.
It's very lovely car you have got. Thank you. Yeah, it's electric car, very eco-friendly car, and I think ma'am drive this is always inspire us about this car. That she's very eco-friendly, and she drive this kind of electric car. We people like having this kind of big car. It is a lesson for us that we should be going small car like this. It is. I think she's like in this area only one, and she get noticed every time she drive by. So definitely it is style statement.
One day I was just returning from my office, so in the parking area, so there was it seemed like there are some foreign delegates for some company who had been visiting. They kept on asking about the car. Very happy to know it's an eco-friendly car, and such cars are plying on Indian roads.
She makes those statements in a silent way. I think that's driving Reva is her way of making certain statement in her own way, which is more like silent way of making statements.
It's as small as my remote control car. It is like my remote control car. My friends say that it's a toy car.
But it's so fun in such a cute car. And Auntie, where are we going now?
Just roaming around this place. I love the silence, I love the nature, and it might be due to the fact that I was really brought up in a quiet place. It was in the suburbs. From there, maybe I have inherited that place, that nature. So, and I feel we should actually move on to eco-friendly options with more and more cars coming up on the road, more and more, the population rising a lot, and more cars on the road. It means polluting the nature a lot. And we all have something to contribute about for our environment, so as to keep it clean and green. This is my dream car.
There were many places all through India which I was actively rallying. I was seeded number 6 in India. And I used to do only high-speed rallying, which is rather dangerous, but the adrenaline pumps so much that you never realize what it is. My father, he loved sports. He was a sportsman. My mother was a sportsman too. I was a sportsman. I was into athletics. And when I wanted to go for this rally, he said, okay, you can go for the rally, provided you don't put a scratch on the car. And I didn't. We took off from here. We went through Delhi, through Pakistan, and we went on to Kabul. All these were a day apart, excepting we had to wait for 3 or 4 days at the Pakistan border for clearances. Every day was an overnight journey. So we stopped at Kabul and we said, okay, next stop Tehran, we'll just go. We didn't realize how far Tehran is from Kabul. Ignorant as we were, didn't even look at map, there was no GPS, there was nothing. So we took off and then we realized it was almost 2.5, 3 days away. So we kept going on almost nothing, didn't have petrol on the way. We managed to get some from an air base, from a Russian air base in the middle of the highway, and we carried on, went to Tehran. Then we drove all the way back. Carlos Sainz, in fact, I was in touch with him. A friend of mine got in touch. All of a sudden on a birthday, he said, talk to somebody. He was a Spanish man. And I started talking and there was Carlos Sainz on the line. It was my birthday gift. And I talked to Carlos Sainz for 15 minutes in Spain. Then he told me all about rallying. He asked me to come over, help him with the service group, but that never happened. He sent me T-shirts signed by him, saying Carlos Sainz, probably somewhere. When I was rallying, I required a service team. And to get a service team, it was very difficult to get your own service team from other people. So I developed my own. And I had this service team going and I'd do my cars. Also my family cars I'd do because as it is, I had the service team. So gradually that snowballed into a garage. This is a memento from the ASEAN rally, where we went through several countries. In the Asian rally, what happened is that I was going down Kathmandu near Daman, and the wheel, suddenly in the front wheel broke off. It was bolted on, but the rim broke and went out. And it went down about 1,000, 1,500 feet. But it was lucky it was a rear wheel drive. The front overshot the cliff and the car was hanging out. I managed to put it in reverse, pull the car back, put on a stepney and carry on with the rally. Passion has always been there. Like when I got married, I didn't have money. So I gave my wife an old vintage car which I bought for 1,800 rupees. Then I came back home and I found that the block was cracked. So I went to Mali Bazaar and I changed the block. I brought a new block, an old block, and I replaced it. I was at another person's garage doing this car. A little plaque is given inside saying, giving it with all my love. And the date of our marriage is also there. And when I came home, I just about somehow wore my clothes and went to get married. And in proper Bengali style, you have to sit down on the floor and get married. So when the marriage was starting off, I looked at my hands and my nails were filled with black grease. And she looked at me and said, "What is this?" I said, "This is the cream of your love." And I've had many, many escapades during rallies. Prior to rallies, I've rallied with broken hands, broken teeth, broken shoulders. One side, my shoulder is smaller by 2 inches than the other. Left side is shoulder. Once I drove with stitches all here and my tongue cut up, and I was leading the Himalayan rally. Even with all that, till I rolled the car. It was just one event after the other. And the adrenaline is such thing, you don't feel any pain. You don't feel any discomfort, whatever it is. This hand was broken, I was shifting with my other hand. When the leg was broken or I get cramps, I'd go on to my left leg and accelerate, and brake and clutch, all three. I'm not much for keeping trophies and stuff like that. That's a question of have been. You know, has been. That's okay, it has been, it's past. What your laurels are, you can't keep on hanging them and going around. It's not going to make you a bigger man. I believe that, which is why my photographs are probably all destroyed. My file is lost somewhere. My entire file with all the paper cuttings were there. That was only there to get sponsors. Now I don't need sponsors. I don't need the file. I don't need to show the world. I have my total satisfaction from my rallying life. I don't need any more. This car has been from 1996 to now. This has done about 30, 40 rallies. The underneath of the car is not straight anymore. It's wavy because the amount of hits it takes with rocks, it's undulated totally, it's not straight. It does not have power steering or the likes because I like to feel the road when I drive. Like what I said, I can do anything in this car and it won't break down, which is why it's my dream car. My dream car is not luxury. It's to be rugged, to be fast, essentially to be fast, and discomfort is of no criteria to me.
It can compete with Audi, with Porsche, BMW, Jaguar. See, I just overtook that Chevrolet. I drove a Chevrolet Beat. One of my friends is having this car. I just overtook him. You just see. I dream of rain, LA, LA. I dream of guns in the desert sand. Awake in vain,
He likes driving, it's a fact, and he drives well also. Sometimes make a lot of rash decisions, but that has been regulated by now. And I am happy that he's enjoying the car ride.
So when they launched the car, when I saw the car for the first time in television, in newspapers, in magazines, so I liked it. I liked it, so I start collecting some money. I also borrowed some money from my dad. Now I am doing a job in an IT company, and so whatever money I have borrowed from my dad, I'm still repaying it.
Everybody has used this car, and for the last 4 years, it is giving us uninterrupted service. So that's why we are really happy.
So I overtook a Porsche in Park Circle 7-point crossing, and that Porsche almost reached me near around, it was Science City. It just came near me, and I just let him pass by. I mean, he just overtook me, and then again I increased my speed and I overtook him.
Young generation, young blood, they have a tendency to, overtake.
Since my childhood days, I was very much passionate about driving.
I used to open the garage. I used to sit inside the car and I used to do shadow driving for hours and hours. When a BMW, when a Porsche or whatever car passes by, people just say, "Look, there is a car." But when they see a Nano, they just say, "Look, it's a Nano. Look, it's a Nano. A Nano is coming." People have replaced the word car or Gaadi by the word Nano. And I am a very much passionate driver. I am very much passionate about my Nano. I just love it. Few months back, I used to be in a relation with a girl. When I told her that we are having a Nano, she used to taunt me that Nano, it's not a car. How can it be a car? It looks like an auto. When she or someone used to say this kind of thing in front of me, and I get very much irritated. If someone humiliates the car, it's almost like humiliating me. I will be in love with Nano forever and ever. If in future, if I buy another car, I'll keep it. I will not leave the car. Suppose I'm feeling very lonely or depressed or frustrated. So what I do, I come along this road, and there is a place. There are some trees, and the place is quite deserted, quite lonely. It's the road who touches the infinity, and the wind who kisses my hair. It's the sky who gives me sanctity, and it's you, my love, who keeps my sanity. This is my dream car, my sweet Nano.
Drive fast! Drive fast! Rono, drive fast!
My first gift to him was on his birthday was a Mercedes car. It was a white color Mercedes. And on his second birthday also, I gifted him another car. So whenever I thought of giving him something, the car was the best thing that I could ever think of.
এখন ওরা জন্মদিনে গাড়ি কিনছে, আমাদের বেশ ভালোই লাগে। এক সময় হয়তো রাগ হয়, কেন শুরু টাকাগুলো নষ্ট করছি, তাই না বেশ ভালোই।
Yes, he is obsessed, but I don't find it obsession to go in such an extent which can create problems in our life. It is in a very sweeter note, on a nicer note. I find him finding his own space when he is with his cars. He is happy.
You know, I don't own any car because I know that the cars within our budget have loopholes. And the cars which I can't afford, they are perfect. This is one of the perfect cars that I have, and I'm proud to have one. I'll start off with Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR. Okay, this was the first model which they turned up with a gull wing door. Okay, this is why it's called a gull wing, because it looks like a gull wing, gull flying, as you can see inside. And next I'm going to show you Mercedes-Benz 500K. It's from 1936. Okay, yeah, this is a classic vintage. This is how people used to get in, and the best part was the part from the engine. One of the cars, rather I think it's the only car which has 4 doors opening in my collection. Okay, and this is the bonnet. This is mostly driven by the mafias of Italy. I started collecting by getting a free gift from Maggie. Okay, it was a small car, okay, which turned out to be a passion. Then we slowly moved on. We started collecting Hot Wheels. Those were cheap, so those were the gifts that our parents used to give us. You know, someone very close to me has gifted me a car. I'll show you. Let's go. This is the car that I was talking about. This has been gifted me by the most important person in my life, my wife. Okay, you can say I had asked for a dowry.
okay, and to my in-laws that I need a car. Okay, and this was the car that they had provided to me. Okay, it is the Ford F1 pickup.
বাচ্চারা আসলে বাড়িতে আমি যদি বলি ওদের একটু দে না গাড়ি, না 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 একদম না, তুমি একদম বরঞ্চ লুকিয়ে রাখে গাড়িগুলো।
This is the presidential Kennedy's car. Okay, this is the Ford Lincoln, and it ran for the next presidents also rode this particular car. After that, it was sent to the Ford Museum. And now it goes to my makeshift garage.
He makes weird noises and his face is like a child and I keep on looking at him. So it is nice. Sometimes I really find it nice, sometimes it is annoying because he is so much engrossed in all these things, so he forgets everything other whichever is going around him. So yes, it is nice. It has not reached to such an obsession.
I generally start when she's not there, but I get engrossed into it so much that I end up when I turn and I find she's standing there, she's laughing, she's smiling because I'm still making noises and playing with these cars.
I really do need a real one.
We know about cars, okay? We get to understand what are the loopholes of different small cars.
I am not that one because I do not know that much about cars. So for me, it should be a nice looking car.
And when I say, no, this is not good, the other one would have been better.
So there is no point thinking about a perfect car. So whichever I can afford, I'll buy that.
And so the debate continues.
Yes, so the debate continues.
It was back, 7 to 10 years back when a Mercedes was not that popular in Calcutta roads. So you used to find few of them. So it was me and my mom and my bro who went to Newmarket and we found out that, we saw a Mercedes. I stopped over there, halted in the middle of the road just to admire the car. Okay, and I turned and told my mom that if ever a Mercedes hits me and if I die, please don't blame the owner because always remember I have got a direct ticket to the heaven. It's not a cheap hobby because these 1:18s do cost you more than 3 grand. When people from the outside do turn up and get to see, car model, it's good, they do appreciate it. But once they get to understand that it costs 3 grand, they do send, is it worth spending 3 grand on a car model? This is one of the perfect cars. I owe it. This is my dream car.
I bought it roughly 2 years back on Valentine's Day. When I bought this car, at that time, I don't think there was any similar car. So I instantly fallen in love with this car when I saw it for the first time in the showroom. There are like around 3 or 4 pieces and mine was the first piece in Calcutta.
When I'm sitting in the car, I'm a different person. Outside the car, everyone is different. Inside, it's different. I love my BMW so much that I drive it literally every day, and wherever I have to go, I take my BMW. If it's during the days, the roof is up, and during the evenings or the night, it's like the roof is down, it's the convertible then, and then the speed starts.
I've done my masters from UK and I'm like into my family business right now. Favorite pastime would be driving around in this car. I've driven in the both international circuit. I've driven quite a few cars over there. It's fun to drive over there. That was like 280 kilometers per hour. That was the top speed I've achieved by now. My favorite pastime would be driving around, trying to race people, even though it's not allowed in the streets. I take this car for my parties. I leave around 11 o'clock and just before 5 o'clock then I enter back home before my dad gets up. Yeah. Been a lot of times I just enter and dad's calling me, where are you? And I'm saying I'm doing some work in the car. I'm like, I've downloaded some new music. I'm just listening to that. How is it feeling in the car? A lot of girls' attention because I'm driving in this car and they're fascinated with the convertible and all that stuff. Though it's sometimes quite funny the way they react, but you kind of enjoy it. I had thought about naming my car at one point of time, but I dropped the idea. I thought it was a little too gay.
We were like on the Delhi highway, and we were just driving so that we could attain the speed and enjoy our drive. And till a good distance, we were getting traffic. There were like truck traffic there, bikes, cars and all that. So we actually, none of us realized, and we were just like around 50-60 kilometers off Allahabad, the city Allahabad. And then we realized that we have reached Allahabad. We actually didn't realize that we have covered so much of distance. Eventually we crossed the magical 200 mark and did more and attained 250. I just love my cars. I think so. I would love my car more than my girlfriend or something like that. I'm mad about my cars. My family, my friends, all of them have complained that when I get my car and the surrounding that I need, I do not pay attention. I do not give them attention, that I can just keep on driving for hours and hours. That has happened a lot of time, that I've driven the entire night just because I was getting the right environment, the right roads, and because I love driving with my Beamer.
This is my dream car. I cannot imagine selling this car. I love it so much that even if I get a fortune for this, or even if I get a very good buy for this car, I will sell it. Where are we up to next?
I know, it's up to you.
We can keep driving to Allahabad.
My wife, myself, we are all lovers of cars, motorsports, and the passion for vintage cars has always been there with my father. I remember it was way back in 1983-84 that we basically collected our first junk vintage car, which was a Buick Straight 8. For me, basically, my day depended on cars, like, starting from my breakfast, lunch, dinner, studies, my playtime, everything was with cars. We do not pick up complete cars, we pick up cars as scrap, and we get a different kind of pleasure by restoring those cars. This is a total scrap of a Dodge, 1958 Dodge. As you can see, there's literally nothing left of the car, but the engine's there, the instruments are there, the gearbox is there. So other than the body, I don't think restoring her will be that bigger kind of challenge for me. And I still remember, right, in my school, college days, no parties used to interest me, nothing used to interest me. After school, it used to be cars and only cars. Even in college, when my friends used to go for 24th night and 31st night, I used to be stuck underneath my cars. It's at that time, like all my mechanics, about 25 odd people, they are in my house, they are having breakfast, lunch, dinner with us. When a car is at a final stage of preparation, I think I remember spending about a good 14-15 days without proper sleep. I think total accumulating, I had about 10 to 12 hours of sleep in those 14 days. This is a Rolls-Royce 1930 limousine. This was the last British-owned governor's car. Then after the Swadeshi movement, this car was sold off. And only 6 of these cars were made. Coming to the MG TC, this is a 1946 MG TC midget. This particular car, when we found it, it was in somebody's farmhouse, half sunk in the water. Coming to this car belonged to Onukul Thakur. This is a Jaguar SS 1.5 litre 1938. Another very special car is this one. This is a Jaguar SS1. This car happened to be a very famous rally and motorsports car in those days. Now this car, when we got it, was lying in a factory in the old NS34. And you know, like there was some labor union problem, and when we got this car, she was completely burnt down. This is again a very rare Fiat. It's the Fiat 509A. We got this car from Bihar. This is one of the first cars of our family. My father got this in 1984-85 for only 2,000 rupees. Coming to this one, this is, yes, the oldest and probably the first. This is the first car of our family. This is a Model T. My father noticed, you know, in a particular local wayside dhaba, beside that there was a tire shop. He noticed this very old rim. And as he proceeded into the village, he saw somebody playing with the wheel of the car, somebody playing with the light. And, you know, inquiry upon inquiry, he found the car. But only thing they said that they will not part with the engine. Why they won't part with the engine? Because they were drawing water from the well with this particular engine. So what my father did was, in those days, he promised them a Kirloskar pump set. And here she is in front of you. 80% of the trophies belongs to my father. And I've got my own trophies also here. In a span of 2 to 3 years, I mean, the entire top row is mine. This is mine. I've got a lot of trophies here that belongs to me. I think from 1991 till Schumacher's last race, I have not missed a single race live of Michael Schumacher. I think আমার wallet I'll show it to you. I don't have কোনো ভগবানের ছবি নেই, কোনো family ছবি নেই. I still carry Michael Schumacher's picture in my wallet. I still remember in Malaysia when I went for the first Grand Prix to Malaysia, I didn't eat for 3 days just to save money to buy Schumacher stuff. These are the small Michael Schumacher collections that I have. It's got all the different Ferrari and Schumacher collections out here. Whatever little piece of paper I used to get, I used to write Michael Schumacher on it. Such was the fanatism that I had. One such incident in St. Xavier's, our prefect, I'm not naming him, he once took my school diary and said that, why have you written Michael Schumacher? I said, Father, like, you know, he is my idol. Who's he? He asked me that. So I said, Father, don't mind. I mean, if you don't know who Michael Schumacher is, you definitely do not have the right to be the prefect of St. Xavier's. So I still remember, and I was punished for this. These are the furnitures, rather I call them carnatures. I don't call them furniture, I call them carnatures. Over here you can say this is the clutch plate, this is the spring of my rally cars. You can enjoy, have a nice springy seat out here. This is my father's ambassador seats. This also, if you see, you know, these are the car springs. I also have, you know, these lights of, those days we had Shaktiman dumpers working in the dock for us. So I've taken them and I converted them into lampshades. Okay, coming to this one. This is a Auburn, 1929. Okay, she's got a Super 6 engine. This car belonged to the Shobha Bajar Dev family, the Shobha Bajar Rajbari. And she was lying unused from 1930-1931. When the king had bought this car, he somehow passed away in 1930-31, and this car was basically lying in the open for about a good 70 odd years. And this car, one of their descendants had given to a local garage who could not restore the car for them. This was the condition of the car when we got it. These guys were unwilling to sell the car. They said, we are a Dev family, we will not sell cars. So there was a particular gentleman who negotiated the deal for us, and you'll be surprised, we were agreed on a pot of rubbery to basically exchange this beautiful, unique car. And this is one of the only American cars, or rather one of the few American cars that came with mohair. If you see, it's not leather. This is mohair. This particular car, well, as I said, I cannot mention any of them as my favorite. So this car definitely has a very special value for me. Ever since she has been restored, I can guarantee that nobody else has even moved her an inch without me. So that's it. She is very, very special to me. Cars is part of me. Cars define me as somebody whom I know very well from my school days. They termed me as a flying Zavarian, and in their words, I probably eat cars, sleep cars, dream cars.
গাড়ি আমার জীবন, গাড়ি আমার প্রাণ, গাড়ি আমার লক্ষ্মী। গাড়িতে যদি একটু আঁচড়ও লাগে, মনে হয় গাড়িতে আঁচড় লাগা না, আমার হৃদয়ে কোথাও আঁচড় লেগেছে। আমার জীবনের শুরুটা এই গাড়ি দিয়ে। অন্য কোনো পেশা এলেও আমি করব না, কারণ এটা একটা স্বতন্ত্র। এটা হচ্ছে আমি সকালে খালি হাতে বেরোলে লক্ষ্মী আমার ইনকাম দেবে। নিজেরই গাড়ি আপনি বলতে পারেন, কেননা এনার মালিক, এই যে গাড়িটার মালিক এত ভালো, আমাকে বাবু বাবু করেন। আমি খালি হাতে বেরোলে পকেট ভরে বাড়ি ফিরি। তো এখানে অন্য কোনো পেশার আমার কোনো প্রয়োজন নেই, কারণ আমি চাকরি পেয়েও চাকরি করিনি আমি। হ্যাঁ বসুন স্যার। গুড মর্নিং স্যার। প্যাসেঞ্জারের সঙ্গে আমার খুব সুসম্পর্ক এবং খুব ভালো ব্যবহার। আমি রিফিউজ করি না। ধরুন আমি সকাল 6টায় বেরিয়েছি, আমাকে ফিরতে হবে বারুইপুরের দিকে, তাহলে আমি কি করি, যদি কোনো প্যাসেঞ্জার হাত দেখান তখন আমি তাকে নিয়ে অন্য গাড়িতে বসিয়ে দিই। অনেকে বলে যে সত্যি অনেক দিন ধরে আমি ট্যাক্সি চলছি, কিন্তু এমনভাবে কেউ উইশ করে না। আমি প্রথম জেলা পরিষদের গাড়ি চালাই, পরবর্তী সময়ে আমি ট্যাক্সির পরিকল্পনা নিলাম। তখন অফিসের গাড়ি চালাতাম একরকম, কিন্তু যখন প্যাসেঞ্জারকে আমি পরিষেবা দেব, আমি রাস্তা নামলাম, আমি তখন ঠিক পরিষেবা যাতে পরিষেবার মতো হয়, আমি সেইটাকে সেই ধ্যান জ্ঞান করে আমি এখনও পর্যন্ত চলি। কারণ আমার 18 বছরের একটা বোন ছিল, সেই বোনটা বিনা চিকিৎসায় মারা গেছিলো। আমি সারা রাত হসপিটালে ঘুরেছিলাম, কোথাও ভর্তি করাতে পারিনি। তো তখন থেকে আমার মনে এক অদম্য জেদ তৈরি হয়েছিল, যদি কোনো দিন সম্ভব হয় একটা অন্তত ছোট পরিষেবা কেন্দ্র করব, যেখানে গ্রামের মানুষ, আমার বোনকে তো আর ফিরে পাবো না, গ্রামের মানুষ যদি কারো ভাই বোন আত্মীয় স্বজন একটু চিকিৎসা পায়, ডাক্তার দেখিয়ে অন্তত প্রেসক্রিপশান করে ওষুধ খায়, তার বন্দোবস্ত করার জন্য আমার এই লড়াই। এই আশেপাশে অন্তত 100 গ্রামের মানুষ উপকৃত হবে, যেখানে মানে মানুষ হঠাৎ কিছু হলে অন্তত বারুইপুর সাব ডিভিশন থেকে ছুটে তাদের কলকাতায় যেতে হয়, অন্তত ফার্স্টেজটা যাতে আমরা দিতে পারি তার পরিকল্পনা নিয়েছি, এবং দেখা যাক কতদূর রূপান্তরিত করা যায়। আর সবচেয়ে বড় কথা, এই হসপিটালটার উপলক্ষে যে এই 20 গ্রাম, এই 20 গ্রামের আশা করি আমি যে চালচিত্র ইত্যাদি সমস্ত কিছু পাল্টে যাবে। প্রাথমিক চিকিৎসাটা আপনি এদিকে ক্যানিং থেকে শুরু করে এদিকে আপনার রামনগর থেকে শুরু করে বারুইপুর দক্ষিণ 24 পরগনার মধ্যে যে সমস্ত জায়গা আছে, প্রত্যন্ত গ্রাম, অনেকে এখনও সত্যিকারের ডাক্তার দেখে চিকিৎসা করতে পারে না, অন্তত তার বন্দোবস্ত করা। বেড হবে, এক সাইডে ওই কিচেন রুম হবে, টয়লেটস, দুটো বাথরুম এই সাইড হচ্ছে, এখানে একটা বাথরুম, এখানে একটা বাথরুম, আর এগুলো বেড পড়বে। এই কাজ শুরু করার আগে আমার মানে স্ত্রীর সঙ্গে সর্বপ্রথম আলোচনা করেছিলাম। নিজের গহনাও আমার হাতে তুলে দিয়েছেন, আমার টাকার কম পড়েছিল, তুলে দিয়েছেন, এবং সত্যি কথা বলতে আমার শাশুড়িও আমাকে খুব হেল্প করেছেন। এখন আমার অনেকে এই যে প্রচারটা হওয়ার পর এখন অনেকে আমাকে এই ট্যাক্সিতেও ডোনেশন করেন, আমাকে আশীর্বাদ করেন। যেমন আপনি দেখতে পারেন এই ট্যাক্সিতেও আমার ডোনেশন কালেকশন হয়, ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি বিভিন্নভাবে আমাকে ডোনেশন করছেন। এই বিভিন্ন মানুষ পাশে দাঁড়াচ্ছেন, আপনারা পাশে দাঁড়াচ্ছেন, এবং আমার মনের জেদ তৈরি হয়েছে যে আগামী দিনে এটাকে আমি আরও বৃহৎ জায়গায় পৌঁছে নিয়ে যাওয়ার চেষ্টা করব। প্রেম প্রীতি ভালোবাসা পেলে লিখতে পারি কবিতা, প্রেম প্রীতি ভালোবাসা পেলে হৃদয় চিরে দেখাতে পারি ভালোবাসা কোথায় আছে।
You are going to get a lot of interesting stuff from her. So please support us. Please support us. Subscribe the channel. That is Boost Production Audiovisual. Spread our links and share the links.
You can see the subscribe button here. Just the red beside every video, the red button, and also don't forget to comment about our video.
But that's important because at the end of the day, your little thought, your little likings, or even not so much likings, maybe disliking, whichever you feel, please share with us in the comment box. That is the main the opium for us.
And also don't forget to like our videos.
Anyhow, all this is going to be the prelude for the big thing which is going to come up. Just stay tuned till it comes up, and till then we are not going to bore you, so all the interesting stuff coming your way till we come up with that.